Hello guys, Karen from Natural Freaks here. So this video is going to be about how to calculate what you're eating. Basically this is for people that are doing the if it fits your macro approach, or you just want to know what you're eating and how to track your macros. So I have my board here with me, so follow me and I'm going to explain you how to calculate your meals. Okay, so I already ate my first meal, but I'm going to explain you what I did. Basically I used my bullet blender, stir it out, and I weighed it 70 grams of oats, and also I added 50 grams of protein. So if you want to know how much protein, carbs and fat contains what you just ate, all you have to do is, for example, on the oats you just ate 70, right? So here, if you look at the serving, it says 40 grams contains 5 protein, 27 carbs, and 3 grams of fat. So let me write that down. So 40 contains, this is how I always do it. It's easier for me to understand it like this. And the order, it's proteins, carbs, and fats. And then you ate 70, but the serving is giving you 40, right? So what you do is you get your calculator, okay, and then you do, if 40 grams contains 5 grams of protein, how much is there in 70 grams? So what you do is you cross multiply, and this is your x variable, the one you're looking for. It's a little bit of math here. So you multiply 70 times 5, and then you divide it by 40. So here's my calculator, 70 times 5 divided by 40. So you're eating 8.75 grams of protein, and then you do the same with carbs and fat. So again, 70 times 27 in this case divided by 40, you get 47.25. And then again with fat, 70 times 3 divided by 40, you get 5.25. So from the oats, I'm eating 8.75 grams of protein, 47.25 of carbs, and 5.25 of fat. Now I erase all this because I don't need it anymore. And then I go and do my protein. So I ate 50 grams of protein. And then you go to the nutritional fat. And this is very important. You have to look at this number. And this is telling you how much of fat, carbs, and proteins is on 36 grams. So I grabbed 50 grams, so I have to do the same. So I write down 36 contains 25, 5, and 3. Remember, this is protein, carbs, and fats. So I do the same thing. If 36 grams has 25 grams of protein, how many are in 50? Is your x, so you cross multiply, so it's 50 times 25 divided by 36. And I do this every time I eat, so I know how much I'm eating, and I try to be as precise as I can when I weigh my foods. Okay, so 34.7 grams of protein. Now I proceed with carbs, 50 times 5 divided by 36. So you're doing the amount you grab times either proteins, carbs, or fat, and then you divide it by the serving. So now I obtain 6.94 grams of carb, and then I do 50 times 3 divided by 36, 4.17. Okay, so now I also ate 15 grams of raw honey, so I could match my carbs. This I purchased at Sprouts, and then if you look at the label, it says 21 grams has 17 grams of carbs. Okay, so here I go. 21 has 0, 17 and 0, so carbs, right? And then I only took 15, so I do, if 21 has 7, 15 grams, how many carbs are in there? So 15 times 7 divided by 21, 5. No, wait. Yeah. So 0, 5, 0, and then add all this up. And I either write it down in a paper, I leave it here on the board, or I save it on my cell phone so I know how much I'm eating per day. You can use like MyFitnessPal to track everything you're eating and save it throughout the day. Let me add all this up to see how much I ate in the morning. And then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna eat for my second meal and how to weight it. So I'm adding everything up. Okay, so I ate 43.45 grams of protein, 59.19 grams of carbs, and 9.42 of fat. And my macros right currently are, so my daily protein intake is 245 grams, for carbs is 250 grams of carbs, and for fat is 65 grams, which gives a total of 2,565. And remember, in the previous video I said each gram of protein has 4 calories, each gram of carb has 4, and each gram of fat has 9. So let's do it here real quick to show it to you. 245 times 4 plus 250 times 4 plus 9 times 65. See? Yeah, so this is my calorie intake per day. So this is what I ate on the first meal. So I still have ton of remaining food I have to eat throughout the day. I'm probably gonna eat like 5 or 6 meals because I don't like to eat like really big meals because I'm gonna feel bloated. Right now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna eat for my second meal. Okay guys, so I already explained to you how to calculate one meal. Now I'm gonna explain to you how I calculate my second meal. So follow me here. So right now I'm gonna eat this pita bread that I got at Costco. It's really high in fiber, so it's really good if you're doing that. If you fit your macro approach, which remember, if you fit your macro approach, as long as you fit your macros, you're doing good. But you also have to fit your fiber intake. It has to be between 20 and 30 grams of fiber per day. So if you look at here, one flatbread has 1.5 grams of fat, 20 of carbs, and 9 of protein. So I open this baby and I'm gonna take 2. Let me get a plate. So put it on my plate and then I write it down. So okay, I don't know if you can see. So meal 2. So since I grabbed 2, I'm gonna just multiply everything by 2. So 18, 40, and 3. Remember, protein, carbs, and fat. So this is only for the bread. Okay, now let's go. And I'm gonna weigh this, zero it out. Let me get the camera. Okay. So I zero it out. Now I'm gonna add some chicken. And for the chicken, you can go on MyFitnessPal to see how much you're eating. I already know like how much I have to eat, but if you're doing like randomly, you can like grab chicken, weight it, and then you calculate later how much you're eating. I'm gonna, I don't know, eat like 120. Have to cook more chicken. Okay, 120, perfect. So I grab 120 of chicken And I already know the macros of the chicken. But for this video, I'm gonna show to you how to calculate for the chicken. Hold on. Okay, guys. So I went on my cell phone and I went to MyFitnessPal right here. And then I search for chicken. You can either search either cook or raw. I already know how much is cooked because I've done it many times, and I calculated the average of how much it weighs raw compared to cooked. Normally raw, when it's raw and it weighs 100, when it's cooked it's gonna weigh like 10 to 15 grams less. So let's assume if they give you, if the macros I found was 100 raw, but you know I already weighted my chicken cooked and gave me 120 grams. So let's say this is 100 minus 15. Let's assume this is 85 cooked. So now I erase this and I write 85 cooked. I remember what I explained you before. So if 85, it's 26.9. How much is in 120? So I grab my calculator. 120 times 26.9 divided by 85. So I'm eating 37.98. Remember, you have to try to be as precise as possible, because if you round this, then at the end of the day you're not gonna be that accurate with your macros. Now I go with a fat. See, 120 times 10.2 divided by 85, 14.4 fat. Let me check with the one I saved before, the one I usually use. Okay, I think I messed up. I'm gonna just use what I have in my calculator. So for fat it's 4.3. Alright, now last thing I'm gonna add to my second meal. It's a little bit of Trader Joe light shredded mozzarella cheese. Doesn't have that much flavor because it's really low in sodium, but it gives a better texture to your food. And it says 28 grams of this, has 3 fat, 0 carbs, 5 protein. So you can either put 28 and then you're set, just write these numbers down, or you can put a random amount of cheese. Hold on. Okay, so it shows 31 as you can see there, and then I proceed to do the same thing. I know it's tedious, guys, but once you get used to it, you're gonna do it in like 3 to 4 minutes. You can write everything down, and when I heat this up, I can calculate the macros. I already know that 28 grams has 503. Remember, 5 protein, 0 carbs, 3 fat, and then I calculate this. So I do if 28 has 5 grams, how much are in 31 grams? Then you do 31 times 5 divided by 28 gives you 5.5. 0 carbs. 31 times 3 divided by 28, 3.32. So let's write cheese. 5.50, 3.32. I erase this because I don't need it anymore. and then again you add everything up. So 18 plus 37.98 plus 5.5 gives you 61.48. Then 40 carbs, 40 plus 0 plus 0, plus 3 plus 4.3, 7.3, 10.62. So this is what I'm eating in my second meal. This is what I had on my first meal. So you can see right here it's at 43 plus 61, so like around 104, 245. So I still have like 100 grams left of protein, which I'm gonna keep eating throughout the day. Probably I'm gonna eat one more meal after this one, and then I'm gonna work out. So right here I'm gonna cut the chicken, and then I'm gonna put it on in the toast, and then I'm gonna show you the final product. Okay guys, so here it is, meal number 2. The cheese is all melted, and I forgot to mention I'm also gonna add a little bit of fat. I'm gonna put olive oil in this. Basically I put on the whey also, I stir it out and I calculate how much olive oil I put in, and then I write it down and calculate also my fats. So that's it for today guys. So if you have a question about how to calculate different kind of food or any particular question, just leave it in the comment below or write it in an inbox. Thank you guys.